So I recently made a video discussing how I feel about the single-player experience in Nightreign. In that video, I talked about how I don't like playing with random people and would rather play alone. You can go ahead and watch that video for my thoughts on the solo experience. But today, I'm basically making that video's counterpart. You see, despite not wanting to, I've been breaking my comfort zone and playing Nightreign online with random strangers to see how that gameplay style actually feels. Sometimes being open-minded can actually lead to surprising positive experiences. Before I get into the details of my multiplayer matches, it would be super helpful if you could leave a like, a subscribe, or even a comment about your own experiences. With that said, let's get into the multiplayer meat. I assume the biggest question on everyone's mind is how does the difficulty of multiplayer compare to the difficulty of single player? In my last video, I talked about how hard the solo experience is, even detailing my inability to clear the first night on several of my runs. I assumed that the multiplayer would be much easier. But after playing as a random trio for several hours, I'm surprised to report that multiplayer really isn't that much easier than single player. The word I would use instead to describe playing in a group is smoother. Having two other people around means that when you make a mistake, they can cover for you and smooth over any wrinkles you've caused. Especially when you're just starting out at this game, you will make a ton of mistakes and generally play poorly. But once you know what's going on and have a better idea on how to engage with the game, it won't really matter if you're playing alone or with others. Beyond the knowledge check, more players has a pretty obvious seeming advantage. With more players means enemy aggro is further split up. Just like in base Elden Ring, split aggro gives you more chances to heal or recover stamina or catch your breath. What you probably don't expect is that this extra time doesn't help as much as you think it does. Whether you're playing alone or in a squad, enemies are going to be on top of you almost non-stop. Again though, even if it's not necessarily making things too much easier, playing as a trio does feel a lot better and a lot smoother. Speaking of, I need to go into more details about what it's like playing random multiplayer as a person who normally wouldn't be caught dead engaging with digital strangers. I've put in about 3 hours of multiplayer now, and I think the random experience is fine. Having two other people around doesn't take me out of the game as much as I thought it would. Honestly, their presence feels pretty goddamn natural. I mean, think about it. Everyone is here with the same goal in mind, and so everyone is probably going to act and play in a similar manner. Everybody is trying to be fast and efficient. You can't really be griefed or trolled while playing Nightreign. Another player could, theoretically, not help you kill anything and refuse to revive you if you die, but that kind of playing still puts most of the power in your hands instead of theirs, so it probably wouldn't appeal to them. Not to mention, playing like that would be boring as fuck, so I'm pretty sure that's never going to happen. What's a lot more likely is having teammates that are trying their best, but just aren't doing a very good job. That happened to me a little bit while playing, but it honestly doesn't feel that bad when we inevitably lost. Nightreign is still a very fun game, even when NPCs are masquerading on your team as real players. Something that does make that problem worse is the lack of communication options. The only way you can meaningfully interact with your trio is by pinging items on the ground or areas on the map. This communication is generally okay and gets across what you need most of the time, but you cannot communicate even slightly complex thoughts with the ping system. I've tried and failed many times to get my teammates to take the Spirit Hawk trees to the other side of the map so we can hit up some juicy looking churches or some other location, only for them to completely ignore my pings and walk to a different, more nearby location instead. While this can be annoying, I actually think the limited options for communication are a very good thing. I know for a fact, if text chat existed, we would all get called the N-word for simply breathing. As things are now, people just can't be toxic. And that means a lot to me. I'm really not in the mood to ever get PTSD flashbacks of my League of Legends matches. At this point, I think I've talked about the most pressing matters when it comes to playing online as an anti-socialite. But there's a few more smaller things I'd like to get into. Namely, I'd like to talk about gameplay changes exclusive to the multiplayer experience. The first topic I want to bring up is sharing loot. You know what they say, sharing is caring. And giving strong items to your teammates that you don't need feels really good. As an archer, for example, I don't need a rare wizard staff. So giving one away, if I happen to find one, is awesome. Even if I'm not personally gaining anything, I know that I'm helping the overall power of the team significantly, which will make things better for everyone involved. Maybe they should use this game to teach Republicans common sense. And of course, getting a little care package from another teammate is always a nice surprise. The other mechanic I need to talk about is reviving. In my opinion, the single biggest loss going from multiplayer to single player is the inability to revive other people. FromSoft cooked out of their minds with this revive system. Seeing people beat the shit out of their dying allies on streams looked kinda intriguing, but it does not convey how these moments feel when you're the one doing it. Every revive feels like trying to clutch victory from the jaws of defeat. It was tense every single time. This system adds so much more to the game than you would naturally expect it to. When one person goes down, you and your other living ally have to silently improvise on the spot and figure out if one of you is going to try to go for the revive, if one of you is going to try to draw aggro, if you're both going to go for a revive, or be patient and wait for a better time. And you have to communicate all of this based purely on body movement. I'm sure when it comes down to it, this system really isn't that deep, bro. But no other game has ever made me feel like I was drift compatible with a total stranger quite like Nightreign has. So I think it deserves some commendations. And that's all I have to say about the multiplayer. I was really kind of dreading playing with strangers, but I gotta be honest, it's actually quite fun. And I recommend giving it a try yourself, even if you're socially anxious. If this is the first video you've seen by me, you can watch the video I made about Nightreign's single player experience on the end card here. Or my review of Nightreign, if it's up yet, which it probably isn't if you're watching this right away. You can also like and subscribe, or leave a comment if you want. No matter what you choose to do, thank you for watching this video to the end. Please remember to stay positive, and have a wonderful day, everyone.